Hello to the beautiful person that's currently listening to this podcast. How are you doing, my friend? Are you thriving? Are you taking care of yourself? And most importantly, have you had a lovely day, a lovely start to the week? How's it going? Let's take some time to just reflect on this for like 2 seconds. Okay. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that you're thriving and that you are doing all the things. If not, that's okay as well. I'm sending you so much love, so much support, and so much positive energy, and I'm just hoping that your situation turns around ASAP Rocky. What am I saying? I feel like I haven't recorded an episode in so long, but anyway, if you didn't know where you currently are, you are listening to the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I'm your host, Claire, and this is the space whereby I like to chat shit, where I like to share my life perspective as I navigate through my 20s, because I feel like the 20s is such a beautiful time to build the foundations of who you want to be as you progress through this life. And while I'm on this journey, I just like to share some of the things that I learned, some of the things that I observe. And if that offers you any sort of value in the sense of offering you entertainment or helping you learn a new perspective or learning what to do, what not to do, then I've done my job. And if it doesn't do it for you, that's okay as well. Please find something that resonates with you, because life is way too short to not be associating with things that light you on fire and get you absolutely excited about life. So yeah, that's just me in a nutshell. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back if you're a returning listener. And as I am recording this episode, I'm sitting on the floor in my bedroom. I've just come out of like a sound bath experience since I wasn't able to experience it in person today. It's been raining very hectically on this side of the world, and there were severe weather warnings just saying, hey, it might flood, so just stay at home as much as possible. And seeing that I had already gone to the gym this morning, because I literally woke up, went to gym, did a workout, got dressed thinking I was going to work, and then got the message to say, hey, stay at home, work at home. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just find a lovely YouTube video that I will put on in the background and do a little bit of a sound bath experience at home. And I possibly passed out for like a good 40 minutes. And now I'm awake and I'm like, okay, I need to actually talk to my peeps, because I feel like I haven't done that in such a long time. But just a general life update before we get into the topic of discussion for the day. I'm back at work. My leave ended, when was it? Yesterday. I went back yesterday. And granted, it did feel quite sad. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely do miss waking up a little bit later in the day, and by later I mean like at 8 o'clock. And I definitely do miss like just watching Breaking Bad until until the early hours of the morning. And oh my gosh, I think when I'm done with Breaking Bad, I just want to talk about it, because it's just such an incredibly phenomenal show. Like, I have never experienced a show that's made me feel scared, worried, panicked, sad, frustrated, all in one go. And I just want to like rant about it in one of my upcoming episodes and everything that I've learned from it. It's been a while since I've got into a show like this. Like, usually when it starts to get really stressful, I stop. And this is just like when it comes to shows in general. There's been lots of shows that I haven't finished before, like very few that I have completed. But I think I want to get to the end of this one. I'm on season 4 now, I think. Like just the beginning, first few episodes. But yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, so back at work. How am I feeling? Yeah, first day back was pretty good yesterday. I actually felt like quite I don't know. I felt like quite, okay, cool. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to get through the day. We are just going to be catching up on everything and, just happy to see our friends at work. Even though I did see my friends, like, outside of work. But some of them I haven't seen in a while. So it's just been kind of like catching up on that, catching up on any other activities that have happened. And I just felt like, at first it felt very disorientating and weirdly different, but not in a bad way. It is quite different though, because like our space has changed quite a bit. And like I've got a new desk, so the energy does feel different. It is a little somber at this moment in time because we did lose a colleague. So there's like that general energy that's in the air. But overall, I did feel like, okay, like we are going to try and make the best of this year. And today, with working from home, I was just trying to check myself when I was feeling some type of way at any point during the day. If I felt like I was stressing about small things, I did try and catch myself. When I felt a dip in energy, I just felt like, okay, let's take a little walk around your room or something, because I just really want to start catching myself in the small moments when I feel like, okay, that's when I'm starting to spiral, that's when I'm starting to feel stressed, and then like I lash out or whatever. And I just wanted to keep a very close eye on those types of things and just like really tapping into the nuances of my behavior and my emotions and how I feel, and just regulating as often as possible. So yeah, from that perspective, like that's been going on. And then ultimately, I just feel like the theme that I've been learning over the past couple of weeks as I've been at home and not really distracted by work is this idea of self-concept. And I feel like it's something that's going to become like very instrumental and at the core of everything that I do over the next couple of months, possibly throughout the year. And it's something that I really want to talk to you guys about. And honestly, I just feel like I've become more attuned to this idea of self-concept through my interpersonal relationships and dating again and all of that stuff. So I've like had knowledge over like self-concept, and very briefly off the top of my head and from what I understand about it, it's just all about what you see, like what you see about yourself, like how you see yourself, essentially what you believe like about yourself, like what do you believe about the type of person that you are? What are the stories and the narratives that you tell yourself about who you are, why certain things happen to you, why you are a particular way, all of that stuff. I think all of those elements kind of build into this idea of your self-concept. And it's something that I've known for a while because I listened to Dylan's content, who is a coach on YouTube, and he talks about self-concept quite a lot. And I think self-concept is such an important thing when he is trying to teach people about manifestation and overall just changing your life. It's just like, I think the way that he views things and the way that he presents the information is like how you see yourself can greatly impact like your manifestations and all of that. If you believe that you are incapable of, making X amount of money or whatever, but you want to manifest like, I don't know, like this beautiful, shiny lifestyle for yourself that requires X amount of money, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get to that dream or make that goal happen if you don't address some of the beliefs that you have about yourself. Because if you believe that you're bad at managing money and money hates you and you can't make money, which already I feel like that sounds absolutely terrible, and just block your ears and forget that I said anything, then there is a tendency to, I don't want to say like attract experiences aligned to that, but almost it feels like you're going to face some difficulty in getting to the next stage in your life where you do have like a lot of money, or even if you get like a lot of money, then it's very easy for you to lose it because you have this negative self-concept of yourself whereby you can't manage money and therefore you lose it. So his thing is all about like really when you face with like challenging times or whatever, or you feeling triggered by a particular situation, it's so important to look at that situation not as what it is, but maybe like taking a step back and asking yourself, okay, why do I feel triggered by the situation? What is it about the situation that makes me feel some type of way about myself, or that just makes me feel some type of way in general? Obviously, if it's a fucked up situation, it's a fucked up situation. Like, let's not try and, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? If someone does something really shitty to you, that's absolutely awful and horrible and horrendous. Like, let's not be like, but what did I do to make that person treat me in the shitty way? No. It's almost kind of like, let me just use that example of money or whatever. Say, for example, you had like a shit ton of money that came in, and then like, I don't know, the next day you had to pay something like multiple times, and all that money finished, or like you realize like a few weeks later that it was gone and none of it had gone towards your savings or investments or whatever, and it was like, what the hell, I had this money and all of a sudden it's gone, like I was paying for all of these things. And so I feel like it's like something like that. For example, you could use it as a situation to be like, okay, so this was the situation that I was faced with, and then I lost all of this money. Like, what beliefs do I have around money that could potentially influence like why that happened, especially if it's something that's like a recurring thing in your life. Like if you're constantly getting money and like losing it, or you can't seem to like keep it, it's so important to recognize and have enough self-awareness to be like, okay, this feels like a recurring pattern in my life. Why is that? Hence why you would ask all the questions, okay, so why? And how do we fix it? And I feel like the most important step when it comes to building self-concept and kind of trying to restructure or reframe your brain around certain beliefs in relation to certain aspects of your life is being self-aware and being open to kind of like have those open and deep conversations with yourself around your behavior. So that's kind of like step one for me, is just to be open to recognizing when things are a pattern and not judging yourself for it. Like, we're all humans, and you know, there are certain lessons that we are meant to learn in this life. And you know, if you are a person that's dedicated towards like improving yourself and just leading a healthier and better life overall, then you know, you'll stay open and you'll be like willing to kind of work on it. Then the second step is kind of just like analyze the situations whereby these patterns have like occurred. So, okay, let's use another example. Say, for example, you're on a mission to lose some weight, and you've started diets and gone to the gym many times, and like, I don't know, many times, and you swear up and down that you want to lose weight, but somehow it just keeps coming back and you keep having these unhealthy habits. So I feel like you have to be honest with yourself and look back at, all of the instances whereby you started a new diet or a regimen or whatever it is, and you kind of have to reflect on your behaviors around that time. Like, were you influenced by somebody, or did you, I don't know, just give up like 2 weeks in, whatever it is. Like, it's so important to kind of recognize a pattern of behavior that links all of those instances together. And I feel like once you kind of get to the core, find the insight that links all of those things together, you can kind of like then ascertain maybe an underlying belief or assumption that you have about yourself that contributes to certain things not happening. So if, for example, you just find yourself giving up, in all of those instances, then perhaps it could be linked to you don't believe that you can lose weight, or you believe that losing weight is not fun and you have to sacrifice like certain things and it just doesn't feel good, or whatever it is. And okay, maybe it's not even losing weight, maybe it's gaining weight or whatever. I don't know, whatever it is that pertains to you. And once you have that insight about why this like keeps happening or whatever, you can then be like, okay, cool. So as far as I'm aware, when it comes to, getting fit and getting into exercise and being healthy or whatever, I have ascertained that I think that it's not fun at all, hence why I give up within the second week typically. So maybe you will then decide to try and change the behavior by being like, okay, cool, so maybe I will get a buddy to support me for a month so I can break that 2-week pattern. Or maybe I'll decide to change the activity that I've been doing, because maybe every single time I've tried to like lose some weight or whatever, I have taken up running and given up in the second week. So maybe I won't run, I will dance instead. And I feel like once you get to the insight or the core of the things that cause you stress and drama, and like maybe like a little bit of trauma or whatever related to a specific element in your life, that's kind of where you can tackle it and make minor behaviors, and make minor changes in order to change the behavior almost. And then from there, you can just work at it like baby steps. And during this time, it's like very important to recognize that, it's not easy, and behaviors take a while to change. But as long as if you feel committed to making the steps towards like changing the behavior, like it'll turn out just right. And some of the other things that I feel like, are super helpful in terms of like changing these behaviors that Dylan recommends, and I highly recommend his content and like for self-concept as well, and I'll link it in the description or whatever. It's like listening to affirmations and those like sleep tracks almost, so that like subconsciously you can start changing the beliefs like while you sleep or while you're getting ready in the morning, something along those lines, to kind of deep down inside like get you to start feeling differently about certain things or thinking differently about certain things. Like that really does make a lot of a difference. I did not speak English properly just then, but please mind me. But yeah, it tends to make quite a difference. And the reason why I feel like self-concept has become so important to me is because, like, I feel like it can have a major impact on the different areas of your life, you know? I feel like if you believe good things about yourself in relation to a certain aspect, like for example in relationships, if you believe that you are the shit and you know it's easy for you to attract people that are committed, that are healthy, that are fun, that are great or whatever, the more you believe that, the less that you will settle for people that aren't that, you know? And it's not necessarily just to, I don't know, pump up your brain with all of this information that makes you think that you're better than anyone else. No. But I feel like when you have a strong belief and faith in something, it's very difficult for someone to come in and shake up that foundation and freak you out. And it also is very difficult for you to settle for anything less than what you believe. If you believe that, you know, all your relationships suck and they fall apart and it's terrible in general, like, I feel like you prime yourself to see more of that around you rather than being optimistic and or holding out for something that's much better and much bigger for you. So I just find that like so fascinating and so interesting that, you know, based on what we believe about ourselves in certain situations, like we can sort of manifest or attract, I want to say, oh, not even attract, it's not even manifestation or attracting, it's like allowing certain behaviors because that's what we prime ourselves to believe is true, you know? So, yeah, that in itself like is one that I'm trying to really work on when it comes to certain, like, you know, aspects of my life. Just want to get really stronger in believing in myself and assuming good things can happen in certain aspects. So that in itself has just become really important for me. And aside from like affirmations and, you know, the nighttime tracks and what have yous, some other things that I feel like might help in terms of, I don't know, believing otherwise almost. And I feel like it can be counterintuitive to some people because, you know, like they tell you, oh, no, you should never compare your journey to anyone else's or whatever. But I like to look at it as inspiration almost. And anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, like, if you look at stories of people that have like what you want, for example, say for example you want to go the wealth route and you want to do it in a specific way, like you want to create content or whatever it is, I feel like you can find, if you do your homework, examples of people that are like you, that have, I don't know, like created specific content and made it to a certain like a certain like level in life almost. And I feel like that in itself is like a lovely thing, because I think sometimes our brains need proof that something is possible for us. And I think one way in which we can give our brain proof is by finding examples of situations whereby it has happened for others that look like us or came from the same place, or, you know, all of that stuff. I feel like around us there's lots of examples of possibilities, and if we prime ourselves to see the possibilities, then that can like greatly influence like what we believe is possible for ourselves. Because like what makes, not in a horrible way, but what makes someone else more special than you? Like, let's be real. Like what makes anyone else any more special than you? Like, they, for example, could just have a different way of thinking and working and all of that, but you can also kind of observe how they think and they work or whatever, and implement that into your own life in your own way. And you can also, like, I don't know, end up on a certain journey or route that takes you to where you ultimately want to go. So yeah, that has kind of been what is on my mind today, that I just thought I would share in case anyone found it interesting. But yeah, I really, really appreciate you for spending some time with me. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, a nice review, share it with somebody if it was really that inspiring. And I'm so sorry that I sound sleepy, because I genuinely am. And yeah, check out the links in the description if you wanna, check out some of the content that talks around self-concept and all of that good stuff. And also, if you want to support the podcast in any shape, way, or form, no pressure though, if like that's not your vibe. And yeah, thank you once again. If I don't catch up with you tomorrow, I'll see you the day after that. Don't forget, everything that you do, even if it's making a cheese sandwich, do it with love and a sprinkling of magic. Okay, bye.